in Bali in the middle of the jungle, and today we are going to explore an Indonesian joglo style house. It's absolutely incredible, so come with me. So this is actually the path to the house. It is super cool and really crazy because you basically walk through your own little architectural jungle. But the house that I'm going to show you is even cooler. So here we are already on the outside of the 100 square meter cabin, and it is constructed entirely from wood, and it has a super unique history that I will tell you. But first, let's go and take a look at the inside. If you don't know me, my name is Jane and I'm an interior designer, and here on Interior Insights we show you the best and most unique homes in the entire world. So if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe right now, and now please come in. Now, this cabin actually has a very unique history, and that is that the owner and designer has actually bought it in Java, the neighboring island of Bali, and has completely deconstructed it, shipped it to Bali, and then basically rebuilt it here. But she used the structure of the old joglo and just rearranged it in a way that it would suit her and her kids. And this is just what makes this place so absolutely unique and just so full of layered history and soul. This house spans 9 by 11 meters, and it is quite compact, but almost 100 square meters, and it is an absolute dream. We are located on Bali in Kurungu, a small surfer village right by the ocean that is quite close to the more popular area in Canggu. And it is just one sacred retreat because it is super calm and we have the entire jungle surrounding us. This home is a creative space surrounded by lush gardens, a generous veranda, and a pool that just blends beautifully into the nature and its surroundings. And the interior design really just combines modern comfort with Indonesian charm. Now, we are already in the open living room area, and it actually takes up almost half of the entire house. And over here you can see that we have a very low profile sofa that just beautifully blends into the structure and architecture of this house. The entire house is actually constructed from reclaimed teak wood. So it is a very unique and typical traditional Indonesian architecture. And I just really love it because here on Bali you have all of these like modern, white, fancy villas. But I feel like those places are often not really in touch to the surroundings and the actual local architecture. And I feel like here it is the complete opposite, but you just really feel where you are. And I think it is just the perfect combination of this Indonesian historical charm and this like farmhouse vibe. Over here we have one of the dining areas, which consists from a small round table, these like Tone inspired chairs, and everything just seems really rustic and simple, but in the best possible way, like reduced to what is actually important. I also really love all of the different floral patterns. They just add this very romantic and playful, almost nostalgic layer to the design, and it just creates an incredible atmosphere. Over here we also have a gorgeous kitchen, and the wooden kitchen cabinets have all of this traditional Balinese wood carving, and it just really adds to this local and authentic charm. And I love that wherever you are located within this house, you always feel this very strong rhythm and structure of the architecture, because the entire house is also covered with a lot of glass, and so we have the nature coming in through the windows from every single direction, and we just feel really exposed and immersed within the nature. And then to just create this more luxurious farm style flair, we have black marble countertops that just really add this luxurious touch to the design. And I think it is absolutely beautiful that you can just cook yourself a meal or do the dishes in your copper sink and just look out into the vast jungle. It is super cool. I would love to live like this. Comment if you agree or not. And if you've paid attention to this design, you can actually see that we have a small hidden door hiding within the kitchen, but I will show you that in a second, because first we're going to take a look at the veranda and also at the pool. And of course, we have our own little pool over here that is overlooking the jungle and our surroundings. Every home tour eventually gets to the pool, and it's usually the space I look forward to filming the least. Not because it isn't beautiful, but because a beautiful pool and a well-maintained one are two completely separate things. And let me tell you, most homeowners are trading one for the other. which is exactly why I want to pause here and show you guys something that I've been testing. Now this is the Spino E1 from Mammotion. Thank you so much Mammotion for kindly sponsoring today's video. The Spino E1 is under $500 and I look at it as part of the design of the pool, not separate from it. It runs on 3 brushless motors with 5,800 gallons an hour of suction. And this means that it pulls in the same amount of dirt that an owner would usually take away by hand. What I mean by this is leaves, sand and grit down to 180 microns. And what's so crazy is that it does so on the floor, on the walls, and it even cleans the surface. And of course, one charge covers up to 150 square meters, and it also lasts for around 3.5 hours of non-stop cleaning. And let me tell you, for most residential pools, that's a full-on pass without anyone having to check on it. And the best part is that it doesn't just move around randomly within the pool, but actually 17 sensors are constantly mapping the pool, adjusting it as it goes. Which brings us back here. A pool like this deserves to be a space you actually enjoy, not one you constantly have to manage. Check out the Spino E1, the link's in the description. And because we're on Bali, the floor plans are always very open, and you can see that all of the doors are also open because you just have this very strong indoor-outdoor lifestyle that the people love to have here, and it is super cool. And so the proper dining area actually is on the outside. And the entire furniture is also made from reclaimed antique wood. And so it just has this very rustic charm, and it's actually been here forever. This house has actually been completed, I think, around 1.5 years ago. So it hasn't existed here for too long, but it looks absolutely incredible. For the floor, we have teak wooden beams, and they are both on the inside and then just seamlessly extended to the outside. And so you just have a feeling that this is just one open living area. And you can see that even though we're on the outside, we still have all of these beautiful little interior compositions that just create this really rustic farm vibe, that just create this Indonesian design with this just rustic farmhouse atmosphere. So this home has 2 bedrooms, and I will show you the ensuite bedroom first. So come along with me. And now it's time to show you what is hiding behind the door in the kitchen. So here we go. This is actually where the true gem of the entire house lies. And here we actually have the primary ensuite bedroom, which is an absolute dream. So here for the bed, we actually have this beautiful fairy-like baldachin situation. I'm not sure if that's actually the correct name in English. If not, please do correct me. And you just have these large wooden doors that just open up into the nature, and it just looks absolutely incredible. It's time for your favorite part of the video, and that is the color palette analysis. Now this home is built around a warm monochrome color palette, which means that the variation in color rather comes from a tonal shift or a variation in texture rather than contrast. The base is this raw Javanese wood that has different colors that reminds me of the colors of honey, sand, and light teak tones, creating a cohesive and sun-drenched foundation. The muted ochre walls sit within the same color family, and they gently amplify this warm, sun-drenched glow of the house, and I'm absolutely in love with it. And so monochrome color palettes always get their depth through textures and through different shades of the same hue rather than this bold contrast. And if you don't want to make the same mistakes that 90% of people make when it comes to using color and applying color in their own home, I created a completely free guide with the 5 most common color tips when it comes to choosing color for your interior design. You can get it by clicking the link in the description or by scanning this QR code. It's completely free. And of course, a highlight is the large pink bathtub that is just freestanding, and you can take your bath here while overlooking the beautiful green view of the outside. And you can see that here the walls that are in the inside of the joglo have actually also been pink washed in this beautiful plaster, and so we just have this very strong structural depth within the walls. And then the design just keeps repeating these pink and red tones, and it just looks like out of a fairy tale. I would love to wake up here. And to save space, we have an inbuilt shelf over here as well as over there. And you can see that the natural niche that is created through the shelf has been used to create a seating nook where you can sit and read a book or just spend some time. And also, because the bedroom isn't too large, we even have some integrated hidden storage solutions. You guys are always asking me where the storage is in the homes that we show. Here it is. Here is some of it. But of course, there also is a proper wardrobe. So come with me. Now, you can actually enter the bathroom and the wardrobe because the headboard of the bed actually acts as this room divider, but behind it we immediately have the bathroom, and that is quite a cool solution. And of course, behind this door we have some more storage and a very large and generous wardrobe. And instead of a sink, we actually have a beautiful piece of ceramic that has been turned into a sink. And it just looks absolutely beautiful, and also is covered with this like floral pattern, and it just feels very nostalgic. Another thing that I really like is that the shower is also completely covered in these pinkish faded out tiles. So you just have this very consistent design and color language, and I think that that is always what makes a design successful. Now, of course, there also is a second room, so let me show you the second one. And now behind the sliding door, we have the second bedroom. Let me show you. I love sliding doors because they just hide the actual door, and so you don't always have something within the way. And now this bedroom has a different color palette than the first one, but it is also absolutely gorgeous. We still have this really strong visual consistency because for the curtains, we have the same fabric that has also been used for the outside, for the sofa area, and also for some pillows. And so I really love it. And so this is also a great trick if you want to create some consistency within your design, to buy custom fabric and then to just use it multiple times in different ways. I really like it. Over here, we have a very different situation. So the main bed is actually kind of inbuilt within this drawer and cupboard situation, and it is really cool because this just creates this like natural niche, and I can only imagine that it is really comfortable and cozy to sleep in it because you are just hugged from all of the wood. I think it is really nice. And also, of course, here to both sides, that means that we have a lot of storage, and like in the other bedroom, you can see that the layout of the rooms always is very symmetrical and just very classical. And I think that this just always adds really like a sense of calm to the entire design. And so opposite the bed, we have a gorgeous ceramic sink that is also made from ceramics, and it has a different pattern, and it just is an absolute focal point. And I also love that here the color palette differs a bit from the other room. So the other room was pink and red, but here we have all of these yellow and greenish accents, and just creates a very different, beautiful design. And a second highlight of this room is that we actually have a ladder that leads us up to a bunk bed that is on the top. And so because the owner sometimes rents this out to guests, if they have a bunch of kids staying over, the kids can just sleep at the top and they have their own little area. And this also is a really unexpected and fun way to just use all of this extra space that we have on the top, because the ceilings are maybe 6 or 7 meters high, so it is super cool. And inside this niche, we have a shower, and inside the other niche that basically just flips side symmetrically is on the other side, we have the toilet hiding. So you just see that you have this very symmetrical and thoughtful design. I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment if you liked it and what your favorite part was. And we filmed so many other home tours, so go and subscribe right now. And there's a lot more that you can watch right now. So I hope to see you in the next video. Which brings us back here. A pool like this deserves to be a space you actually enjoy, not one you constantly have to manage. Check out the Spino E1, the link's in the description.